Jame, Byways to Blessedness. Forward. Along the highways of Burma, there is a place at regular distances away from the dust of the road, and under the cool shade of a group of trees, a small wooden building called a rest house, where the weary traveler may rest a while and allay his thirst and assuage his hunger and fatigue by partaking the food and the water which the kindly inhabitants place there as a religious duty. Along the great highway of life there are such resting places, away from the heat of passion and the dust of disappointment, under the cool and refreshing shade of lowly wisdom, are the humble, unimposing rest houses of peace and the little, almost unnoticed byways of blessedness, where alone the weary and footsore can find the strength and the healing. Nor can these byways be ignored without suffering. Along the great road of life, hurrying the eager to reach some elusive goal, pressed the multitude, despising the apparently insignificant resting houses for true thought, not heeding the narrow little byways of blessed action, which they regard as unimportant, and hour by hour, men lie fainting and falling, and numbers that cannot be counted perish of hard hunger, hard thirst, and hard fatigue. But he who will step aside from the passionate press and will desire to notice and to enter the byways which are here presented, his dusty fate shall press incomparable flowers of blessedness, his eyes be gladdened with their beauty, and his mind refreshed with their sweet perfume. Rested, sustained, he will escape the fervor and the delirium of life, and strong and happy, he will not fall fainting in the dust, nor perish by the way, but will successfully accomplish his journey. James Allen. Chapter 1. Right Beginnings. All common things, everyday's events, that with our begin and end, our pleasures and our discontents are rungs by which we may ascend. We have not wings, we cannot soar, but we have feet to scale and climb. Longfellow. For common life, its wants and ways, would I set forth in beauteous hues. Browning. Life is full of beginnings. They are presented every day and every hour to every person. Most beginnings are small and appear trivial and insignificant, but in reality they are the most important things in life. See how in the material world everything proceeds from small beginnings. The mightiest river, it is first a rivulet over which the grasshopper could leap. The great flood commences with a few drops of rain. The sturdy oak, which has endured the storms of 1,000 winters, was once an acorn, and the smoldering match, carelessly dropped, may be the means of devastating of a whole town by fire. Consider also how in the spiritual world the great things proceed from the smallest beginnings. A line fancy may be the inception of a wonderful invention or an immortal work of art. A spoken sentence may turn the tide of history. A pure thought entertained may lead to the exercise of a worldwide regenerative power, and a momentary animal impulse may lead to the darkest crime. Have you yet discovered the vast importance of beginnings? Do you really know what is involved in the beginning? Do you know the number of beginnings you are continuously making and realize their full import? If not, come with me for a short time and thoughtfully explore this much ignored byway of blessedness. For blessed is when wisely resorted to, and much strength and comfort it holds for the understanding mind. The beginning is a cause, and as such it must be followed by the effect, or the train of effects. And the effect will always be of the same nature as the cause. The nature of an initial impulse will always determine the body of its results. The beginning also presupposes an ending, a consummation, achievement, or goal. A gate leads to a path, and the path leads to some particular destination. So the beginning leads to results, and results lead to a completion. The right beginnings and wrong beginnings, which are followed by effects of a like nature. You can, by careful thought, avoid wrong beginnings and make right beginnings, and so escape evil results and enjoy good results. There are beginnings over which you have no control and no authority. These are without, in the universe, in the world of nature around you, in other people who have the same liberty as yourself. Do not concern yourself with these beginnings, but direct your energies and attention to those beginnings over which you have complete control and no authority, and which brings about the complicated web results which compose your life. These beginnings are to be found in the realm of your own thoughts and actions, in your mental attitude under the variety of circumstances through which you pass, in your conduct day by day, in short, your life as you make it, which is your world of good or ill. In aiming at the life of blessedness, one of the simplest beginnings to be considered and rightly made is that which we all make every day, namely, the beginning of every day's life. How do you begin each day? At what hour do you rise? How do you commence your duties? In what frame of mind do you enter upon the sacred life of a new day? What answer can you give your heart to these important questions? You'll find that much happiness or unhappiness will fall upon the right or wrong beginning of the day. And then, when every day is wisely begun, happy and harmonious sequences will mark its course, and life in its totality will not fall far short of the ideal blessedness. It's a right and strong beginning to the day to rise at an early hour, even if your worthy duty does not demand it. It's wise to make of it a duty and to begin the day strongly by shaking off indolence. How are you to develop strength of will in the mind and the body if you begin every day by yielding to weakness? Self-indulgence is always followed by unhappiness. People who lie in bed till a late hour are never bright and cheerful and fresh, but as a prey for irritability, depressions, debilities, nervous disorders, abnormal fancies, and all unhappy modes. This is a heavy price which they have to pay for their daily indulgence. Yet so blinding is the pandering to self that, like the drunkard who takes his daily dram in the belief that it is bracing up the nerves which it is all the time shattering, so the lie abed is convinced that long hours of ease are necessary for him as a possible remedy for those wormholes and wickednesses and disorder of which his indulgence is a cause. Men and women are totally unaware of the great losses which they entail by this common indulgence: loss of strength, both mind and body, loss of prosperity, loss of knowledge, and loss of happiness. Begin the day then by rising early. If you have no object in doing so, never mind, get up and then get out for the gentle walk among the beauty of nature, and you have experienced a buoyancy, a freshness, and a delight, not to see a peace of mind, which will amply reward you for your effort. One good effort is followed by another, and when a man begins the day by rising early, even though with no other purposes in view, you'll find that the silent early hour is conducive to clearness of mind and calmness of thought, and that his early morning walk is enable him to become a consecutive thinker, and so to see life, its problems as well as himself, its affairs, in a clear light, and so in time he will rise early with the express purpose of preparing and harmonizing his mind to meet any and every difficulty with wisdom and calm strength. There is indeed a spiritual influence in the early morning hour, a divine silence and an inexpressible repose, and he who purposefully and strong throws off the mantle of ease and climb the hills to greet the morning sun will thereby climb no inconsiderable distance up the hills of blessedness and truth. The right beginning of the day will be followed by cheerfulness and the morning meal permeating the household with a sunny influence, and the tasks and duties of the day will be undertaken in a strong and confident spirit, and the whole day will be well lived. Then there is a sense in which every day may be regarded as the beginning of a new life, in which one can think, act, and live newly, and in a wiser and better spirit. Every day is a fresh beginning. Every morn is a warm and new. You who are weary of sorrow and sinning, here is a beautiful hope for you, a hope for me, and a hope for you. Do not dwell upon the sins and mistakes yesterday so exclusively as to have no energy in the mind left for living rightly today. And do not think that the sins of yesterday can prevent you from living in purity today, beginning the day right, and aided by the accumulated experiences for all your past days, lived better than any of your previous days, but you cannot possibly live it better unless you begin it better. The character of the whole day depends upon the way it is begun. Another beginning which is of great importance is the beginning of any particular and responsible undertaking. How does a man begin the building of a house? He first secures a plan of the proposed edifice and then proceeds to build according to the plan, scrupulously following it in every detail, beginning with the foundation. Should he neglect the beginning, namely the obtaining of a mathematical plan, his labor would be wasted. His building, should he reach completion without tumbling to pieces, would be insecure and worthless. The same law holds good in any important work. The right beginning, the first essential, is a definite mental plan on which to build. Nature will have no slipshod work, no slovenliness, and she annihilates confusion, or rather, confusion is itself and it's in itself annihilation. Order, definiteness, purpose, internally and universally prevail, and he who in his operations ignores these mathematical elements and once deprives himself of substantiality, completeness, and success, life without a plan, as useless as the moment it begins, serves merely as a soil for discontent to thrive in, an encumbrance, ever half spent. Let a man start in business without having his mind a perfectly formed plan to systematically pursue, and it will be incoherent in his efforts and it will fail in his business operations. The laws which must be observed in the beginning is in building a house also operate in the building up of a business. A definite plan is followed by coherent efforts, and coherent efforts are followed up followed by well-needed orderly results to wait, completeness, perfection, success, happiness. But not only mechanical and commercial enterprise, all undertakings of whatsoever nature come under this law. The author's book, the artist's picture, the orator's speech, the reformer's work, the inventor's machine, the general's campaign are all carefully planned in the mind before the attempt to actualize them is commenced. And in accordance with the unity, solidarity, and the perfection of the original mental plan will be the actual and the ultimate success of the undertaking. Successful men, influential men, good men are those who, amongst other things, have learned the value and utilized the power which lies hidden in those obscure beginnings, which the foolish man passed by as insignificant. But the most important beginning of all, that upon which affliction or blessedness inevitably depends, yet is most neglected and least understood, is the inception of thoughts in the hidden but the tangible regions of the mind. Your whole life is a series of effects having their cause in thoughts, in your own thought. All conduct is made and molded by thought. All these, good or bad, are thoughts made visible. A seed put into the ground is the beginning of a plant or tree. The seed germinates, a plant or tree comes forth into the light and evolves. A thought put into the mind is the beginning of a line of conduct. The thought first sends down its roots into the mind and then pushes forth into the light in the forms of action or conduct, which evolves into character and destiny. Hateful, angry, envious, covetous, and impure thoughts are wrong beginnings which lead to painful results. Loving, gentle, kind, unselfish, the pure thoughts are right beginnings which lead to blissful results. This is so simple, so plain, so absolutely true, and yet the whole neglected, whole evaded, and the whole little understood. The gardener who most carefully studies how, when, and where to put in his seeds obtains the best result, gains the greater horticultural knowledge. The best crops glide in the soul of him who makes the best beginning. The man who most patiently studies how to put into his mind the seeds of strong, wholesome, and charitable thoughts will obtain the best results in life and will gain greater knowledge of truth. The greatest blessings come to him who infuses into his mind the purest and noblest thoughts. None but right acts can follow right thoughts. None but a right life can follow right acts. And by living right life, all blessedness is achieved. He who considers the nature and the import of his thoughts, who strives daily to eliminate bad thoughts and supplant them with good, comes at the last to see that the thoughts are the beginnings of a result which affects every fiber of his being, which potently influence every event and the circumstances of life. And when he thus sees, he thinks unright thoughts, chooses to make only those mental beginnings which lead to peace and blessedness. Wrong thoughts are painful in their inception, painful in the growth, and painful in the fruition. Right thoughts are blissful in their inception, blissful in the growth, and blissful in the fruition. Many are the right beginnings which a man must discover and adopt in his way, on his way to wisdom, but that which is the first and the last, most important, all-embracing, which is the source and the fountain of all abiding happiness, is the right beginning of the mental operations. This implies the steady development of self-control, willpower, steadfastness, strength, purity, gentleness, insight, and comprehension. It leads to the perfecting of life, for he who thinks perfectly has abolished all unhappiness. His every moment is peaceful. His years are rounded with bliss. He has attained to the complete and perfect blessedness.